just turned 21. And Carl say, man, I'm really sorry I couldn't help you, man, but yeah, man, I sure need you to work. And just as I was going out the door, right there for and Leland and Cullen over there by Finger Furniture, just already towed down. He, I was going out the door, I saying, getting ready to go back to RC, and Wilson Lovett, a white guy, he was my rainbow man that used to service me when I was at 7-Eleven. And he's seen how aggressive and how good I got along with everybody, not just people of my race, with everybody. My beautiful smile, my personality, my conversation, my work ethics. So he had been working for Rainbow ever since it was fair made bread. And he told me, he said, nah, wait a minute, Robert, I'm going to go out there and talk to Eddie Rohana, and I'm going to get you in. We're going to waive that 25 thing, man, because I know you can get up. I done seen you work too hard at the 7-Eleven stores. So Wilson went back there and then pulled strings, and Eddie Rohana said, yeah, Wilson said a good thing about you. Carl said a good thing about you. And I know they know what they're talking about. So, yes, you can start to work. And that's when I started working at Rainbow in 1969. And Rainbow had already knew that young people, in fact, let me just show you how things was going. They had to fire a white guy. They didn't fire him, but they moved him out of the route because they needed a black person on that route. All the white people were being replaced with black people that deal with black people in black communities. And the first area with me coming in as the first black Rainbow salesman was out there in South Union. And over there off of OST and Scott, all the way back from Scott, all the way back to Holmes Road. And that was the beginning of me selling bread, and I was good. I was extremely good. I took a route out of the red and put it way up in the black. So I tripled the business that the white guy was on it, and he wasn't a bad white guy. He wasn't a bad salesman. It's just the idea that I knew how to get along with people. Plus, a lot of my friends stayed out there, including Jack Morrow and his wife, Laura. They was giving me good encouragement. Johnny Means, my swimming coach, he was giving me a lot of encouragement because all of them stayed out there in South Union. Thurman Robbins was coming there, would go because they would go to a store called Hinkes and Pilar. Later on, it became Kroger. Kroger bought out Hinkes. I loved the grocery business. I love the grocery business. If somebody had to choose, tell me what would I choose out of radio station, selling bread, the grocery store business, and car salesman. It would be hard for me to do because I like to work with a team. And yes, I think I would pick the grocery business. It's hard for me to say because I love communication. That's why I do so much YouTube. That's why I do so much Facebook. That's why I do so much social media, because I know this is the future. And I thank all of y'all. We got over right at 70,000 views. I got over 155 subscribers. I have started another page and got 2,000 people on it already, plus about another 67,000. So it's working. I'm going to continue to do what I feel like God has me to do, is to give my experience and wisdom and God have blessed me with, because it's only through his grace, man. You know, I had a couple of times I stumbled down the road, but the bottom line, I sold bread. Rainbow knew I was going to be a supervisor. They had big plans for me. They even thought at one time in the way future, I might could get my own bakery. That's how much they thought of me. And the black guys, they was all older than me. I respected them, and they liked me because I never forgot where I came from. And from Rainbow, In 1971, that's when I hit a big block. My mother was killed. And when something happened on a sudden death, you know, you can't believe it. See, you got slow death, you waiting on people to pass away. You know, they're suffering and they're passing away slowly. But that sudden death is when you hugging them today, and tomorrow you trying to make arrangement for them funeral. But when I hit that stump, it wasn't the first time I ever hit a stump before, because when I was in school, I hit a stump over at Miller Junior High School. A lot of people thought I was gonna quit school. So I'm used to hitting stumps and getting knocked on the canvas. But I'm used to getting up and coming back fighting. And that's what I done. And that's the reason why I was changing so many jobs. Man, I was changing jobs like people were changing underwears. And I started off after my mother died. I went out and got educated back at the swimming pool. Major Adams, Yolanda Adams' daddy, asked me to come over there, and I've been knowing Major since he was going to Texas Southern. And he asked me to come and help him, because Marvin Neal and a couple other guys had already went out back to college. And when I went over there, Major told me some things that really made me strong. He said, man, I know your mother got killed. My sympathy is for you. But you know what, Bully? Life goes on. Business still happening. You still got to be responsible for what you're doing. You still got to work. You still got to follow rules and regulations. So don't use your mother's death for a crutch. Use it to help motivate you. That came from Major Adams, Yolanda Adams' daddy. And a couple of times I left, and I'm gonna run through these route sales jobs real quick. My mother passed in '71. I went to work for Budweiser, and I didn't stay there. Budweiser knew that Budweiser had so much hope for me. They was already planning on sending me to St. Louis, Missouri, to the brewery, to meet the Bush family. But I was hard-headed. I didn't know how to take a punch. Woman called me a boy. I got a third ward attitude on her, and bang, I was out the door. I learned then that white people will push your button just to make you lose your job or just to hurt you. Okay, I left Budweiser. Then I went to Frito-Lay in '72. I went to work for Frito-Lay, and that work was so hard. Frito-Lay was a job that I really hate doing. So tough, man. You know, that was the only job I had where the guy told me I could quit. This white boy told me I couldn't quit. I had a route running all of Fifth Ward, all of City Gas. It wasn't nothing but some hootlers, man. I mean, boy, it was places, man, that you knew you was gonna get raw, especially if you was a white boy. All up and down Cavalcade, the beer joints, all up and down Lyons Avenue, all them beer joints, because, you know, they take them skins, you know. And Frito-Lay we didn't have but 3 items. I think we had 4. We had potato chips, Lay's potato chips. We had Cheetos, Fritos, and skins. We didn't have no Ruffles and all that stuff they got today. And then we had bean dip. And I just couldn't hang with that job. Getting on my knees and then taking the truck home every night, parking that Frito-Lay truck out in Third Ward at night, which everybody knew Bully, they ain't gonna mess with the truck. But then you had to check up once a month. You had to put all the money you collect, you had to open up a bank account and put their money in it. And then you checked up once a month. It was just too much of a hassle. So I told the guy I was gonna quit. And when he told me I was gonna quit, then I already had a job over at Miss Berry's, because I already told August Kelly. And August Kelly told me, said, Bully, come over to Miss Berry's, man. I need a route that needs to be pulled, and I know you can do it. So I told Laney Benefield, the supervisor at Frito-Lay, I quit. And he told me, hey, man, you can't quit on me like that, Robert. You got to give me a 2-week notice. And I told him in front of the sales manager, which is his boss, I say, man, if you was going to find my black behind, you wouldn't give me no 2-week notice. Now would you? And the white boy got red in the face, and I say, I holler at you, man. I got to go over here, Miss Beard, and get my physical so I can start pulling this route. Then I went over Miss Beard's. And I thought I was going to be pretty settled down in Miss Beard's. I thought that maybe it was time that Miss Beard and them seen that it was time that it was for blacks to start servicing white accounts. So they gave me a good route over at Miss Beard's out there on Long Point where I made Randall's. And Randall's and Miss Beard's they were real close. They were real close Jews. They were like raised up with each other. So we sold a lot of Miss Beard's bread at Randall's. And I had Randall's on Long Point. Anyway, something went down, and they had to fire a guy over there on the north side. And they pulled me off that route. I was upset. Then they put me out there with my own people again. I figured like I'm trying to open up barriers that had never been opened. So when they did that, it really upset me. And I didn't feel comfortable at all. Plus, I was taking a decrease in pay and doing more work and doing more stores. So I worked at Beard's probably about 4 months from 73 to about 74. And I got out there and I ran back in with Rainbow, who I had left. And I told Harry, but this is on the north side now. I'm working on the north side. I quit on the south side. So then Harry said, yeah, Robert, man, I definitely need you to come out here on this route. Plus, you're already making these stores because you're making them from Miss Beard's. And it was a funny thing because Lloyd Grocery Store, who I interviewed, I was selling him bread, Miss Beard's bread, on Friday. And Monday morning, I was selling him Rainbow bread. That's how quick I was changing jobs. And that was in 74. And I had myself together then. I got off the canvas from laying down, from being knocked down, and from transferring. And my uncle told me, he said, one day my Uncle Harvey say, Boo, you know, we was having Thanksgiving. He say, Boo, you changing jobs so much at the end of the year, you're going to need a wheelbarrow to go pick up your W-2 form. You're going to have so many of them. Yeah, I was changing jobs. But then I got back at Rainbow, and I felt my groove back. And I felt good on that route because it was a decent route. I made Coleman up and down Bennington. I had some nice supermarkets. And it was a great route. It was, and then that's when I got with Lloyd, and I told Lloyd that I was thinking about it being in the grocery store business. And this guy named Diego that worked for Shep's Groceries, he always knew me even from the south side. He was on the north side now, and me and him was talking right over there by Key Junior High School, and he said, Robert, I told Yeager, I said, Yeager, man, he told me, no, this is how this went down. He told me, he said, Robert, I got a grocery store, man, that I can't never keep nobody in the store. It's over there in the Ward area on the south side. And I'm just so sick of this store, man. You know, this guy don't know how to treat people. So I said, Yeager, I would like a grocery store. And when I said that, his eyes lit up. Would you really want a grocery store, man? You know you got to work 7 days a week. Hey, man, I did that before at 7-Eleven. So 7 days a week ain't no problem. Long hours ain't no problem. He said, man, if you'd like it, let's go over there and talk to the landlord, Rocco. And see, can you get the building? And you get the building, I set the interview up with Mr. Sheps and get you some groceries in there and get you working.